Hello faithful viewers, and welcome to the review that I've been putting off doing for as long as I possibly can. This is Energon Unicron. Now why have I been putting off reviewing this guy? Because he's a Supreme class figure. He's big. So Unicron here is a black and green and orange version of the normal colours Unicron, specifically the one that debuted in Armada, and I cannot remember for the life of me the in-universe reason for the colour change. But I really do like this colour scheme actually, and I kind of actually prefer it over the usual orange that Unicron is. I really like what we've got going on here. The black and the green highlights, kind of like a Matrix-inspired cybernet going all throughout him. It's like his veins are exposed and he leaks not purple dark energon, but green in this case. That's how it feels anyway. I have got him at a bit of an angle. I don't have a stand for him because of the way that I have been displaying him for the longest time, which is like this, tilted at this angle. And the way I've had him resting, I have unfortunately kind of warped the lower ring that we've got going on here. It is protruding forward a bit more than it actually should, so you have to forgive me for that. Now Unicron, most of this is clear plastic, this shell here, and you can see, unfortunately, elephant in the room. Mine is incomplete. The only things that he is missing here is the second half of his shell and his Minicon dead end. I don't have either of them, and it is a right royal shame because otherwise he would be complete. Clear plastic shell, and his pieces here that will ultimately end up on the sides of his legs are also clear plastic, but they are quite thick, and I wouldn't say that they are liable to break anytime soon, so that's a relief at least. The rest of him though is solid, mean, thick, resistant plastic, and he looks good. You turn into the back, what becomes a what? This is kind of the only bit that's visible, and you can make out that these will end up being his thighs, and therefore his legs carry on underneath here. His feet are these bits, his arms are these bits here. But his head is well hidden, unless you have half of it missing like I do, and then you can see the backside of his head here. But overall it does do a pretty decent job at hiding all of the robot parts. We can see at the top he has these spikes which are kind of like mountains. Now Unicron does turn into a moon, he's not a fully fledged planet, but it's nice to see some native geography on his surface. So mountains up top, where Dead End would sit, which would be this craterous bit here, it is kind of like a moon crater. So that's a cool little detail. And then of course you've got his iconic horns, which are right front and center here. And yeah, we can still open and close these bad boys, and you can see from this half of the shell, doing that would open and close his big chompers teeth, which is a key feature of Unicron, so that's cool that they managed to incorporate that. These end up on his shoulders, and you can see that they do, as they go forward, push into a tab here, which in turn moves the teeth. So that's how that works. So here he is with all of my Minicons attached onto his asteroid belt. I've got 8 attached here, but we've also got 9, 10, 11, 12, so we can have 12 on the front. The other side of the ring has ports also, so that's a further 12, and then he's got another one there, and he's got another one there, and that might possibly be it for planet mode at least. So there is a lot of places for him to have Minicons. It's insane. At least 26 spots. A core play feature he's got are these shootable missiles, and they are done by putting a Minicon on that port there. Now it just so happens I've got all of my Minicons on me because this is where I keep them, on this ring that goes around him, this asteroid belt sort of thing. And you can see he can hold so many Minicons. He can hold more Minicons than any figure in the entire Armada line. Okay, let's use blackout for this. I'm going to turn him around as we do so, because the moment I put this in, they'll probably fire. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. So they don't all shoot out at once, and that's actually really appreciated. You have ultimate control over the firing mechanism. Let's get down to transformation, shall we? I'm kind of not looking forward to doing this. He's actually quite easy to transform, which is a relief, but it's just the size of this is going to be so difficult to film, so bear with me. Okay then. As I move off camera, my mic quality will dip, but whatever, deal with it. So it's been a hot minute since I've done this as well, so yeah, this is going to be interesting. Let's get rid of the ring for a start. So this one tabs in between his toes, so I'm just going to separate them out just to free this up, and I'm going to split it off there. I'm going to spin him round, and then this one doesn't really tab into anything, so it just kind of rests on the northern hemisphere. So we're just going to open that off, and then I'm going to rotate this bit round, and then I'm going to rotate this bottom ring round here. I hope I'm doing this the right way, and rotate this bit so it is in line with the rest of this. Same on this side. Just going to rotate all of this around. I think it's kind of personal preference at the end of the day how you have these, but as long as they end up just drooping downwards in robot mode, then that's fair enough, that's good enough. Right, so we can see that this bit here is going to be the robot mode chest. So this is kind of how we want to be displaying him. So let's just rotate these rings to the back so that they are kind of out of the way. And then I'm going to attempt to shimmy this shell piece around the horn, although I'm not quite sure right this second how I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm going to rotate it out this way. And we're just going to then rotate it and leave it hanging. We will neaten all of it up a bit later. Come round to the arms, and we are hopefully going to pull these out. So they come out like this. So that's a very G1 Unicron inspired part of the transformation. You'll remember it from the 86 movie. So we do that. I'm going to rotate this backwards so the shoulder has enough clearance to rotate up. I might need to somehow get this bit around there, rotate that around, just a little tiny bit there. Get that in, and then that rotates into place. Good. I've got his ring trapped on the back of my desk, that helps. Just plug him in like that, there we go. Rotate his forearms around, and then let's get to the back of him sorted and get these legs free. Bring these down. This is where it gets big, obviously. Rotate these. I'm going to flatten his skirt pieces with my hand as I bring these down, and then we are going to bring his foot all the way down, and it will open itself. Believe it or not, this, I think this bit here is actually his toe. I don't believe that is. I think that's a massive heel. So rotate his toe around. You're going to plonk it down, and then you're going to rotate this bit 180 so the flat part is facing you. Same thing on the other leg. Rotate down, rotate that. And believe it or not, that's his legs actually done. And he is almost fully complete if we have a look at him in his grandiose scale. All of this you're just going to leave hanging downward on his back like that. It's not exactly the most beautiful look in the world, but it's just kind of what you got to do, unless I am missing something, but I don't know of any other way to orientate the planet shells, or shell in my case. So I think you're just meant to leave it like that somehow. You can flip up his head, and that will tab into place. Rotate his head horns up, and for his hands. Now, these panels here do occasionally get trapped inside. They'll move past the blocker here, and they'll kind of indent themselves accidentally. They are just friction clips, so you can just pop them out and get them back in. But that's what I mean. That sort of thing. I hope to God that's in frame. Yes, it is. But so it can be a little bit tricky to figure out. can just pop it off and then you can just pop it back on properly. Again, like I said, friction clip. It's annoying and it happens all the time, little pet peeve. So just be careful as you are taking the hand out and as you're gripping and rotating that, just to try and avoid it. So with this one, so we open that, we bring that down, we try and get that lined up properly, then we rotate there. Then you can open up the hands, all the fingers are individually articulated, which is cool. And then with the shoulder blades, we want to be rising them. And that, ladies and gents, I do believe, unless I've missed anything, that is Unicron fully transformed into his Gigantuan robot mode. Look at the size of this big idiot and look at the detail on him. He is beautiful. That head sculpt is so darn impressive. It's wondrous. The silver face, the purple kind of crown thing going on around him, the black head, the black horns, the little bits of green detail as well. Beautiful. And he has a licensed sounds feature. Well, he would have sounds, but they've apparently died. Not that I think my copy ever had that capability anyway, but he's got the red flashing lights in his eyes, so that's cool. On his shoulders, difficult to see, but he does have, hang on, bear with me, he does have Minicon ports, and these are on turntables, so if you've got jets, little Minicon jets, then they can especially stay on there, maybe some long cars as well, so that's cool. He does have a firing missile in there, which we'll show after we've done the general overview. I was under the impression that there was a light in his hand, which was meant to illuminate. I kind of forget actually how you activate it. I did just wonder if it was linked to the light in his forehead. That's why that hand is orange plastic, as opposed to his other one being black and not see-through. Beautiful orange on his chest, lots of networking detail going on everywhere. It is stunning. Carries on to his abs, really cool. And then he's got big chunky legs with little angular elf goblin-like feet to compensate for his massive heft. He is a sight. Okay, I figured out his hand feature. You push it in, squeeze it like that, and that should set it going, he says, and he just fails to demonstrate it. There you go, now you can see it, hopefully. There you go. Now it's flashing. Just push it in, squeeze his fist, and you got it going. Now Unicron's not without his play features in robot mode. For a start, in his left shin, there's a little trapdoor which you can put a Minicon into, just like so. And now he's trapped. You can of course still fire off his missiles in robot mode and rotate this so that they are forward in prime position. His abs also feature a Minicon capture compartment. And then of course you've got his BFG, his big gun. This one's activated by utilising a sneaky Minicon port right there. And he destroyed my light. So this is what he shoots from his chest cavity. I don't really know how to describe this. It's just a big yellow missile in kind of like a capsule sort of thing. Don't know how well you can see that. It's got quite a bit of detail on it as well. But obviously it's spring loaded, it just opens up like that, and it goes into this like Death Star laser that he's got going on there. And his chest compartment also has a lot of detail in it. I mean, look at all of that. That's crazy. All those panel lines and rivets and little fake missiles and stuff. Excellent. Then to put it back in, you need to take the Minicon off. Just push it. And you kind of have to wrestle with it a little bit. But there you go, now it's back in. For articulation then, Unicron's head is on a swivel. And it can turn 360 degrees. It can hinge itself up that far. And it can't look down because of his torso. His arms at the shoulders can rotate if the horn gets out of the way. In theory 360 degrees, but they are kind of hindered by his back kibble. He spread his arms out at a fantastic range. Nice fractured joints as well. He has a 90-degree bend at the elbow. He even has a swivel just below the shoulder. I think in theory it can do 360, but I'm not going to do it just because it's too cumbersome. He's got 360 degrees of swivel, and he's got independent finger articulation, both at the bases and at halfway through. So he can pull off a variety of hand signals. He can tell you everything is okay, and he can be extremely childish. He has about 360 degrees of rotation at the waist, but again, all of his back kibble hinders him, so I'm not going to accurately demonstrate it. If we pan down at the legs, in terms of a forward kick, if we move the skirt flaps up, he has legitimately an impressive forward kick, and it stands to reason that he has an impressive back kick as well. And then if we get the flaps up again, he has a beautiful spread. He's got rotation just below the knees. If you get the panels out of the way, 360 degrees. And then he's got a 90-degree bend at the knee. And then at the feet, they are on ball joints, so he's got up and down, plus he's got a bit of rocking. He's so articulated, folks. He has phenomenal articulation for how big he is. He's just hindered by a lot of kibble that gets in the way, so it makes posing him a wee bit difficult, especially if you're trying to do a review like this. But if you've got him in hand and you're playing with him, then yeah, he can pull off a hell of a lot of poses. For size comparisons, here he is with Armada Super Optimus Prime, Energon Leader Class Megatron, Kingdom Leader Class Galvatron, who is the size of a Voyager class, Cybertron Deluxe Class Unicron, Animated Activator Thundercracker, who is essentially a Scout class figure, Legends Class Cybertron Galvatron, Minicon Armada Crumple Zone, and a Lego Darth Vader. So then, that's been our look at the Transformers Energon Supreme Class Unicron. It's an amazing figure, but boy oh boy is he gargantuan. I mean, of course I recommend him. In fact, I recommend this version over the original orange version from Armada, just because I prefer the colour scheme of this guy. But of course, he is a must-get. He is probably very expensive on today's market. There is, of course, the HasLab Unicron for the most diehard collector, but honestly, this one is perfectly fine. He is huge, he takes up a lot of room, so just take that into consideration if you're getting him. But yes, of course, he is like the ultimate piece of a collection, isn't he? He is what everything orbits around. And he is gorgeous in almost every way. It's just a shame that mine one isn't complete. He is truly a wonder. He is very well engineered, and he's Unicron. That speaks for itself. So as of right now, that is every major figure from my collection reviewed. What does the future bring? Stay tuned. But for now, thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this video and all the reviews of my collection. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.